What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly reverse rants, no hate. So there's been speculation about what's going on with Wilder. I myself basically made videos and I spoke about the fact that there's still nothing etched in stone between Deontay Wilder and Zhale Zhang. So, Malik Scott, he had some things to say about why Wilder, in his opinion, why he really lost to Parker and all. I spoke about that. Check the videos out if you haven't already. Okay, so now what people are saying, they're going back to what a fight that Wilder said that he wanted, before Fury took it, which was with Francis Ngannou. Okay. I don't know what it is about this day and time where people seem to just not really pay attention and understand what's actually happening. Okay, it's like trying to count to 10 knowing that you don't have a 4, you don't have a 6, a 2, or you don't have a 5. No, you have to have 10 numbers in order to count to 10. It's as simple as that. You can scratch your head all you want. No, you're missing the numbers. You need more numbers. Okay, you can count, right? What numbers are missing from 1 through 10? Make it make sense when people don't understand. They make these predictions and they say things. Now, it's not that if people think that this is the fight that they're trying to make, that's not like, oh, you're crazy for thinking. No. That could very well be in the works. It very well could. But if that is, for the people that think that this is a good idea, they think that this is like a big fight. No, it's not. And let me explain, okay, why this is a trash move if this is the case. First of all, when Deontay Wilder was initially saying that he wanted to fight Francis Ngannou, you look at everything right now, even before we got an outcome with Fury and with AJ and Ngannou, right? They would have been saying the same exact things about Ngannou. This guy, you can't put a dent in him. He gets kicked in the head, elbowed in the head, and he doesn't go down. He gets kneed in the head. You can't hurt this guy. He's not human, blah, blah, blah. If Wilder would have knocked him out, this would have did everything, okay, in a false sense for Wilder, but it would have looked good in the sense of, oh shit, yo, you heard what they said? You can't even hurt this guy. And Wilder knocked him out. He take knees, elbows, all this stuff, right? And it would have did everything to elevate Wilder to where, okay, now that he's won against Ngannou, and they calling him the hardest puncher in MMA and all this stuff, whatever. This puts Wilder in a position of, okay, who can we put in there with Wilder? And it's going to be like a huge fight. They definitely would have been trying to gun for AJ. No problem. Make it happen, right? But it didn't go down that way. Fury stole that fight from Wilder. Okay. You look at Wilder's management team, you look at what's going on, and you know that things, and you got to put in it, and it's also on him as well, because he's a grown man to make a decision on what he wants. But that didn't happen. Instead, Fury got the fight. So Wilder ends up fighting no one. And through all that time, he does what? He fights Parker. He loses. Now, the hype train surrounding Ngannou, they had him invincible. So when he goes in there and holds his own against Fury, nobody can touch Ngannou. Remember how they said nobody could beat Wilder except for Fury? Okay, now only thing now, they replace Wilder with Ngannou. Then Ngannou goes in there and he's supposed to destroy Anthony Joshua because AJ is not the same fighter and he's not the same since he fought Ruiz, blah, 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 the same old song, the same old tune every time. And what's he going to do that Fury couldn't do? And he went in there and did everything that Fury couldn't do. Okay. Wilder, with all of these excuses, coming off of his loss to Fury, to Parker with the cryo chamber nonsense and the whole. I thought me and AJ was still fighting and acting like he didn't know any better. To this now, this drug that to take for all this focus and elevating a spiritual enlightenment and all that. Okay, understand something. None of that helps him. His fanboys make him feel like, because they got his back and they're making excuses for him and they support the bullshit. So, that might make him feel better. But Francis Ngannou, who goes in there and gets the living shit beat out of him by Anthony Joshua, makes excuses about he showed up 5 hours early. He was told he had to come early. He was tricked. People in boxing tricked him. He was sleepy all of a sudden. He couldn't understand why. Even in the fight, he wasn't himself. He wasn't there. And he just never felt anything like this. He couldn't understand it. He just wanted to sleep and all of this. Like, okay. So now two big excuse makers are going to get together. Just picture this. And they're going to fight and say what? I got my ass whooped the last fight that I had against Parker. Well, yeah, I got my ass whooped the last fight against AJ. Well, it's because I was in the cryo chamber too long and inactivity and I was taking this drug for my spiritual stimulation. Well, I was drugged, and I was tricked into coming to the arena early, and something was wrong. Somebody put something in, they had to put something in my water or something or whatever because I just wanted to sleep and I can't understand it. Okay, so we both was done dirty. Now we're going to fight each other. Two losers fight, and then what? What's next? So, let's say if Wilder was to beat Ngannou, what, that qualifies him to fight Anthony Joshua next? I mean, I'm just saying, if Ngannou beats Wilder, did that qualify him to go in there in a rematch? So basically, we want to overlook Joseph Parker because Wilder doesn't want to rematch him. Ngannou doesn't deserve a fight with Joseph Parker. He didn't deserve the fight with AJ, and he didn't deserve it with Fury. But hey, it's a business, and for the spectacle's sake of making money, that's what they thought was going to happen, and it didn't do the numbers that they thought. Nothing. Okay. Wilder getting beat by Ngannou does nothing for Ngannou. The only thing that's going to happen is people going to say, nah, he's washed up. Wilder's not the same. He's done. You have people saying it now. And you also have people still making excuses. Wilder beating Ngannou does nothing for him. Anthony Joshua just stretched him. Okay, you come in, and what I'm saying is, what the fuck has Ngannou done? Other than he went in there and fought Fury. Okay, like I said, what does he do? He has no boxing resume other than 2 fights. So this would be exactly what I said they might try to do. I said if he was to hold his own against Anthony Joshua the way he did against Fury, okay, and it's very possible that they would put him in there with Wilder. Just say, okay, he fought the big 3. You understand what I mean? But at this point, what does it do for either guy? It does absolutely nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Like I said, he beats Wilder, Ngannou beats Wilder. Wilder's washed up. He's not the same. It's time to hang it up. Ngannou caught him at the right time. Wilder beats Ngannou, okay, but we seen AJ destroy him, so big deal. What happens? Now what? I mean, you see, when Wilder fought against Hellenius, he knocked him out in the first round, and they were sparring partners, and nobody brought up, oh, they know each other. They're sparring partners. Like Johnny Nelson bringing up, oh no, there's nothing different about AJ. He knew, he understood the assignment. He knew what he had to do against Otto Wallin. They were sparring partners. See how it's never a double standard? It's always something different. If the fight doesn't happen between Wilder and AJ, it's going to be because of AJ. Everything pointed to AJ not being the same. AJ is going to fall short. He's not going to beat Wallin. The fight's not going to happen because of. Everything was Wilder's going to smash everybody. Yet we see Wilder struggle with C-level fighters, D-level fighters. He doesn't fight being A-level. We've seen that. We see what happened when he does fight at top level, right? But at the end of the day, Everything pointed to Wilder being the stronger of the two. He's the more dominant between him and AJ. Now all of a sudden, it's like, nope, that's not the case. AJ's back to his old self, and Wilder basically is saying that he doesn't have his hunger. So the bottom line too, another reason why, like, it doesn't matter. No matter what happens, if Ngannou beats Wilder, Wilder will have a ton of excuses as to why he lost. Ngannou loses to Wilder, Ngannou's going to have a ton of excuses as to why he lost. And then where does it put either one of them afterwards? It does absolutely nothing for either guy. So if that would be the fight that they would end up trying to make, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, I think the Saudis are smarter than that. I mean, that would be cool if they are, because you don't think that people are going to say, wait, man, we just seen Ngannou get knocked out in 2 rounds. We seen Wilder get the shit beat out of him against Joseph Parker. So you take the 2 losers of their last 2 fights and put them in the ring, and this is supposed to be entertaining to us? But this is Wilder and Ngannou. Nah, doesn't have the same steam on it that it once would have had. And even when Deontay talked about it, it didn't really make any noise. There's some people that acknowledged it, that, okay, yeah, he said he wants to fight him in twice, because he wants to fight him once in boxing and then once in MMA. Okay, then what? And you guys really think that Wilder was going to climb in the cage? Like I told you, he's just talking because he's trying to get the MMA world involved. He's trying to get more people to tune in, to check him out, and pretty much trying to get more people to notice and acknowledge who he is. But that's not going to happen. So if that would be the case, that they wind up with this announcement that it's going to be Wilder versus Ngannou, this, Wilder versus Ngannou is like that NFL team that's not making the playoffs, but they're playing that last game of the season that doesn't mean shit. Whether they win or lose, it doesn't matter. They're not going to the playoffs, and they're just going home and their season's over. That's exactly what this fight would be for both of them. It does absolutely nothing. Nothing. Okay? Even if one guy was to just astonish, like if they won in an astonishing fashion. Oh my God, he knocked Wilder out in the first round, or Wilder knocked Ngannou out in the first round. Okay. It's going to be excuses as to why they lost. And then bottom line, okay, where do they go from there, though? This is not going to put wings underneath Wilder and all of a sudden he flies up and, yo, me and you, AJ, 50 million. One more. No. If Ngannou was doing the same thing, it's like, no. Why is people skipping the line and trying to get fights that they haven't earned? Why is this such a thing now? People think a fight's going to sell between the 2 people involved, so they'll make it happen. But, we can't act like we didn't see what just happened with Parker and Wilder and what just happened with AJ and Ngannou. So it's better for Deontay Wilder to go in there and fight someone that is an actual boxer and experienced, even if it's a step-up fight for him. Why? What's the excuses now? Ngannou simply just doesn't have the experience in this. Okay, so now why would you want to be number 3? AJ didn't ask for that fight. But for 50 million, he was your replacement. Shit, of course he'd take it. Now, they're not going to pay Wilder 20, 30 million to fight Ngannou. And vice like, so it's like, why would you take 2 losers and pay them a huge amount of money for what? You got to give the people the fight that they want to see. People would want to see Andy Ruiz versus Wilder. They would want to see that. They would want to see Wilder versus Joseph Parker in the rematch. For the people that want to see Wilder versus Ngannou, you can say maybe they just imagining a devastating knockout, whether it's Wilder doing the knocking out or Ngannou. Wilder fans probably feel like it's an easier, safer fight because Ngannou's green. But then at the same time, there's a lot of people that think Ngannou will knock Wilder out. But what does this do for them? Nothing. Nothing. See, because here's the reality, right? Do you really think that Wilder will beat Fury if they fought a fourth time? Do you really think that Wilder's going to actually get better as a fighter? He's going to actually improve and all of a sudden now at 38 years old, now I'm just going to learn how to box, something that I always said, what applies to other fighters don't apply to me. Okay, do you really think that that's what's going to happen? So, using our common sense, let's be real. Let's be real. Using our common sense, we look at two guys that want to knock their opponent out. Two guys that basically don't come to box. Two guys that believe in their power. This is all I need. Okay. You hear Ngannou saying things like he has to figure out in the fight, to study this opponent's style to figure out what he needs to do to win. He doesn't have the experience to identify with those things. He really doesn't. Okay? Even to watch him switch up southpaw in the fucking first round of the fight against AJ was like, when he did it, I remember one of the commentators going, he went southpaw. How's that for confidence? No, it wasn't because he was confident. It's because he didn't like what the fuck he had in front of him. He's trying to land shots. They said he looked more comfortable already against AJ in the first round than he did against Fury. So they're already trying to set it up to, okay, look, Ngannou's ready. He's pumped, he's psyched, he's ready, right? Okay. Ngannou is trying to land shots. He can't catch AJ with anything. Okay, he switches southpaw. I'm trying to lure him in, catch him with something. It's not because, I'm just so confident. No. The same thing when he switched southpaw with Fury. Fury switched southpaw, he switched southpaw. What happened after they switched southpaw? Nothing. So, him doing that, for one, you don't want to make your opponent aware of what you're doing. You always want to play tricks on them mentally. You want to play chess and make them think they know your next move. You don't want to just switch up. He switched up. Why? Was that supposed to, intimidate Anthony Joshua? Regardless to all of that, he didn't like what he saw in front of him. Now, you notice, and this is my words, but you notice when Tyson Fury switched up and went southpaw against Ngannou, you know what, what's his name, Tim Bradley said? You know why he switched it up. He don't like what he see. And I'm like, I agree with him. But you notice when Ngannou switched up and went southpaw against AJ, it's because, what is that for confidence? How's that for confidence? No, see, this is a situation where you have to understand, even when you're watching a fight, the commentators, everything, these people are telling a story. Building up to the fight, during the fight, after the fight. It's a story. Okay? So, along with the fight, does this story deserve another chapter? Will people be interested? That's what you got to understand and look at. These people don't get it. This is not a huge fight. And to be honest with you, Ngannou versus Wilder was never a huge fight. Because when you heard Mayweather versus McGregor, that shit was everywhere. When you heard Wilder versus Ngannou, that shit wasn't everywhere. For one, neither one of those guys are as popular as Mayweather or McGregor. Neither one of them are. Two, Ngannou's no longer in the UFC. Okay? Three, Wilder's no longer champion, and if you're no longer a champion, you're not holding up the division, okay? But at the same time, this is all about making big money. And what can I do? Who can I fight to make, I don't want 5 million, 7 million. No, whatever. I want 20, 30, 40. I want that type of money. So who can I fight? Well, and this is my point when I say you got to look at Wilder's management team and how things are handled, because this man is inactive. He's doing nothing. And now think about when I was saying, what's the purpose of putting Wilder in a title eliminator? What's the purpose of putting Andy Ruiz in the title eliminator if they're not going to fight each other? So you won your fight, I won my fight, but you're asking for too much money. It should be mandatory. So if you accept that a fight for as in a title eliminator, it should be mandatory that you have to fight the winner of. Joe Joyce was in a title eliminator, and the thing is, what people fail to realize is Andy Ruiz fought 2 title eliminators, just to be told he's asking for too much money. So I mean, now when you look at everything that I said about how people are picking and choosing, people are being greedy, they want to pay their opponent crumbs. And so all those crocodile tears crying and talking about how we put our life on the line and nobody care, they don't understand, we go through, they don't care about us as a fighter. You don't care about fighters either, because it's okay for you to be greedy and want to take the lion's share of everything and just give crumbs. Why is everything about money then? So you can't sit up here talking about how the fans don't care about y'all as fighters, and you don't even care about y'all as fighters. You just care about you as a fighter. Okay. So with all that being said, what does Wilder do? We don't know. I don't care what Ngannou does as far as boxing goes anyway. Ngannou supposedly has a deal with the PFL. The next thing Ngannou need to be doing need to be in the PFL. Because if he loses another fight in a boxing ring, whatever star power they think he's bringing to the PFL, no. That's part of why they wanted Ngannou. Why? Because of his star power. Okay, and him losing, getting knocked out like that, that devalues his shit. So even for people to say, well, this is different in the cage, yeah, but guess what? His star power has been diminished in terms of that. You don't hear anybody really talking about anything involving Ngannou. You don't hear anybody other than just the fact of what just happened to him getting knocked out and the excuses he's made. You don't hear anybody. You don't see anything going on in the PFL where they're talking about Ngannou and who his opponent's going to be or whatever. We don't hear any of that shit. So whatever Ngannou is planning, okay, fine, that's on him. But as far as like him in boxing goes, he's 38. He's too old. It's over for him. He's just trying to make a huge payday. Let's not be stupid. Him saying he respect boxing, like, you know, this is what he wants to do. I know I can do this, and he wanted to look, whatever. He wowed you guys. He won you over. The guy only wants a big payday. He's not trying to become a full-time boxer. Stop believing the bullshit. Okay? So, MMA or boxing, at his age, how much longer do you think he's going to stick around? Okay. For Deontay Wilder, we know he's not ever going to no damn cage. And then 2, for Deontay Wilder to find himself in this position, right? He knows, okay, I lost. That's why I didn't get the fight with AJ. Despite what he may sit here and say on 7-8 Sports or to his fanboys or whatever, but he knows what happened. For Deontay Wilder to get back to where he needs to, we've said this already, okay? He needs a big win. A big win. Here's the difference. Since that fight didn't happen, Anthony Joshua has fought twice. He's fought Wallin, and then he's fought Ngannou and got rid of him. Wilder had 1 fight. He lost terribly. So if he's not going to fight a Zhang, if he's not going to rematch a Joseph Parker, and maybe that's why they haven't found an opponent for Parker yet, because in case this fight with Zane don't go through, hey, we want to try to get a rematch with Parker going. Do you think Wilder's going to come out and say, no, well, like, what's the purpose of him not wanting to rematch Joseph Parker? Whatever happened to you always want to beat the guy that beat you. Remember this? Deontay Wilder says, when he criticized Anthony Joshua, remember, after the Andy Ruiz loss, man, that man knocked you out and you in there dancing around trying to win on points. Man, that'd be me. Shh, man, I'm coming with everything blazing. I'm coming to knock you, man. I'm coming to knock that man's head off. Is that how he fought Joseph Parker? Or did he go in there and run? AJ didn't run from Andy. AJ fought off the back foot. That's why it's called fighting off the back foot. It's not running. Wilder ran. Right? So what I'm saying, You know, one thing that you always got to notice about Wilder is he criticized people for things, and then he end up doing it himself, or he's already done it, or is currently doing it. So for him to say all of that shit, and then go in there and run and fight like that, well, what? Who do you really think Wilder has confidence that he can beat? That's top level. You ever think about that? Who do you really think that he thinks he can beat? I'm not talking about him sitting in front of a camera, talking about how everybody's style is so easy to beat. He'll knock this guy out in 1 or 2, 3 rounds. You know, he said how AJ was so terrified he could see the fear in his face when he was next to him. And I told you, he's sitting up here being nice to him, and he's going to talk shit when he's not in front of him, like he always does. So who do you really think he's confident that he can beat? Anybody want it, they can get it. Anybody, this, right? It's easy to say that shit, but they can't fight you if you don't want to fight them, right? If you don't sign a contract. No, everybody's overpricing themselves. Well, for a man that says he's doing way better with the Saudis and they give you the kind of money you can't refuse. Okay, well, why you refuse to fight Zhang the first time? Why did Zhang sign a contract and you didn't? And why is it taking so long for you to respond and do anything right now where, okay, the fight's on? No. And here come Malik Scott with the excuses. It's just a diversion. It's a deflection. Let me say this little stupid comment, whether he really truly believed that bullshit or not, but just to get everybody off of what's really the important thing out of it. So yeah, you think that it's some drug that he was taking to enhance his spiritual enlightenment bullshit. Okay, well, cool. So who is he going to fight? And this is the thing. So if it's a Francis Ngannou, I think that Turkey is a lot smarter than that. I think he's a lot smarter than that. The most you can say is, well, people still might have interest just to see who gets knocked out. But what does it do for either guy going forward? What people hope that it would do is, well, AJ knocked him out, so they're going to compare Wilder's performance. Okay. What does it do, though? You know the excuses that's going to come out of both people. You know they're both going to have excuses. And then going forward, 2 38-year-old men. Wilder, let's not forget, Wilder will be 39 in October. Okay? Does he fight before his next birthday? I don't know. Because they're not talking about who they want to fight. So that's all you need to know. Who is he fighting? And if it's not a top-level guy, we know why. If it is a top-level guy, then there should be look, this is what should have happened. Okay, I didn't sign the contract to fight Zhang the first time, right? Cool, no problem. Second time around, the Saudis are the ones putting the money out. I understand I lost to Parker, and I look bad. I got to humble myself. Zhang lost to Parker, but it was a competitive fight. And if Zhang had a better gas tank, I believe he would have knocked out Joseph Parker. But he doesn't have the gas tank that he needed. But it was still a competitive fight. So when you look at that, what could Wilder say? What would his excuse be for not fighting Zhang? What could he possibly say? And Zhang is 2 years older than Wilder. So, I mean, what could he possibly say? What's his excuse? So everybody's so easy to beat. Oh, I love to fight this person. I love to fight that person. Then when the opportunity presents itself, you don't fight him. So, what can he say? And this is why I appreciate what AJ did, because he single-handedly ended the circus show. I'm telling you, if Wilder takes this fight, and then all this shit people are always talking about, oh, but he fights somebody cut off of a loss. Okay, wait. Let's look at it this way, too. Wilder got beat up and got outboxed and was shut out. Ngannou was knocked out cold. And so at the end of the fucking day, my point is, if you take this fight with Ngannou, if that would be the case, it would look like, yeah, you're just trying to take the easier fight. The easiest possible fight that you can have out there with the guy that has only 2 fights. I haven't heard Derek Chisora talking about anything, and, I'm telling you guys, if Wilder has his way, if he fights someone that has any respect on their name, it's going to be somebody who is no longer in their prime. If you can fight Derek Chisora, then you can fight Zhang. If you can fight, bottom line. So, and if you can fight a Francis Ngannou, You're the same age as him, but regardless, if you can fight this guy, as critical as he's been talking shit about AJ, then this is the opponent you chose in Francis Ngannou. AJ take all the easy fights. Why was you taking Ngannou? Because he was a tough fight? That's what you thought? Because AJ sparked him out in two rounds. So what would you have said? What would 7-8 Sports have said? Ngannou was better than everybody on AJ's resume. Some stupid shit like that, right? So this is what I'm saying, guys. It's like you're trying to make something happen that's already been in the works or talked about 2 years ago. It never came into fruition. Somebody else beat you to the punch. He got 2 losses already, and now you're going to fight a guy 0-2? Does that make any sense? Okay. So, no, this fight does absolutely nothing. Francis Ngannou's star power is overrated. His punching power is overrated. Okay, him as a fighter, as a boxer, is overrated. Deontay Wilder is in a position of needing a respectable opponent. We don't want to see no more circus bullshit. That's why, like I said, AJ did justice for the heavyweight division. Why not fight Andy Ruiz? Why not fight Joseph Parker? Why not fight Zhilei Zhang? Why not fight Daniel Dubois? And after the way Dillian White looked in his last fight, I mean, it's like if you was to pick a Dillian White, it would just be because of the same factor that, okay, White looks terrible. So my point, beating a lesser opponent does absolutely nothing for you, and it doesn't put you in a higher bracket. Like I said before, you can't beat a C-class fighter and all of a sudden get elevated to A-class. No, you have to beat another A-class fighter. That's how you elevate, okay? When kids get skipped to a different grade, you know why they get skipped? It's because they're that smart, okay? They qualify. They belong there. You don't go and lose, okay? You don't fail your test and then get promoted to the next grade. You have to pass them. You failed your last test. So, this is what I'm saying, guys. And it looks desperate. And you know who it looks worse on? Former WBC champion with well over 40 fights, who decides to go in there and try to find a weaker opponent. That's exactly what it would be. That's exactly what it would look like. And like I said, despite his fan base, no, nobody's stupid. We know better. Wilder deserves, look, if you want to be in that position to fight Anthony Joshua, if you want to fight a Usyk or for a fight with a Fury, which I don't give a fuck about that, but bottom line is, for you to get there, then you got to tell yourself, I deserve better than trying to fight low-tier guys to get to high-tier guys. I got to fight high-tier guys. But Wilder knows it's a risk as well. And all of these guys are trying to cash out. I strongly believe Wilder just wants one huge payday and he wants to be done. That's what I strongly believe. Okay? But I feel like he doesn't want to come out and say that. So there's no explanation as to why he didn't sign the contract to fight Zhang. And he's not going to, interview people that's going to ask him the questions, the tough questions. No, if he gets interviewed, it's going to be by 7-8 Sports or somebody that he's going to tell, don't ask me nothing about this, or that. And pretty much that's what they do to protect themselves. Well, I'll tell you what, I just want to see, as far as me watching the sport of boxing, I just want to see solid fights, man. Not this fraud shit that's going on. This is why you don't hear me covering Jake Paul, Mike Tyson stupid bullshit. It's like, you hear me make mentions of things to make examples, but like I'm not interested in that garbage. Everything is about selling pay-per-view, selling tickets. It's just about big money. But they don't care about the legacy. They don't care about, what they're doing to boxing. They don't get it. They just don't get it. And if you're getting paid huge money, of course, I know these guys are going to go get their money. I know that. But they need to stop talking on this legacy bullshit. And for a guy like Mike Tyson, I mean, Mike has nothing to lose, man. Except for, something happen to him health-wise. I mean, whatever, just say. But if he loses this fight, I mean, Jake Paul is going to talk like he just beat Godzilla. if he wins this fight, okay, I don't think much of Jake Paul anyway. And a lot of people don't, but there's a lot of people that do. But what does this do for Mike Tyson other than the payday? What does it do for Jake Paul other than the payday? But yeah, he run around and try to make it seem like he beat up prime Mike Tyson. So, we're not stupid, right? But this is the era of casuals. They don't know the difference. So, we sticking to what's real. And I always will. That's who I am. To the day that I'm dead. Fucking day I die. I'm not going to switch up. Now, that all being said, y'all, there's no need for Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou. It's just no need for it. Wilder want respect on his name. He got to fight respectable fighters. He got to fight guys that people want to see, that the fans been wanting to see, that the public deserves to have. We want to see boxers fighting boxers, man. We sick of all this, like I said, when I want to see some dramatic bullshit, I'll watch, professional wrestling for that shit. I'll watch the WWE for that bullshit. If I want to see some shit that I know is not real, but it's just supposed to be like a hardcore movie, entertainment, so to speak. Not when I watch boxing, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. Wrestling is predetermined. We know who's going to, they know who's going to win, even if we don't. Okay? But at the end of the day, no. This is a real sport. This is a real, you got dirty judges. Let's not get shit twisted. You got some dirty motherfuckers in boxing and everywhere else. Yeah, don't get that twisted. But I'm saying, bottom line is, fights are not predetermined. No, we go in there and let somebody go in there and take a dive. Y'all know where I'm coming from. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's not something that Wilder needs. Damn, and the thing is, Wilder looks worse. Wilder's the one that looks bad out of everybody in this shit, because the fact is, yeah, it's only 3 fights for Ngannou, but he was so confident. AJ, he already has a weak chin. He want to test that chin out, all this stuff, right? But you look at it, they always going to, but he only got 2. It was only his second fight. They wasn't saying all that before. When they were saying it before, they were trying to point out it's only his second fight, but oh my God, this guy is amazing. If he's this good now, just imagine the longer he sticks with. No. Misconception, yo. Misconception. What do you think that Ngannou's going to do? And he's going to be some vastly improved boxer all of a sudden? No. It's just not. The most memorable thing would be is comparing Wilder's excuses to Francis Ngannou's, depending on who won and whatever, and just like what each fighter said. I mean, what if the shit ended in the draw? They gonna do it again? And not to mention, if he doesn't go in there and spark him out, well, you can look at that and say AJ did it. Yeah, but at the same time, Tyson Fury didn't knock him out, yeah. And Tyson Fury don't want to fight Anthony Joshua either, and never wanted to fight him. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like I said, once he knocked out Helenius, everybody was like, oh, wow, this and that. When AJ did it in 8 rounds, still did it with 1 shot, but it was criticism. You see? So how the fuck are you going to criticize Helenius or any other actual boxer, okay? But then you go in there and you got people trying to big up and put over a guy that's a novice in boxing, and when he gets schooled and gets knocked out, it's excuses for him. So again, where does this lead? You can't make up a storyline and feed it to people. Casuals, yeah, because casuals don't know any better. But you can't make up, but the things, they don't care about the product. All they care is about the drama surrounding it. What does this do for boxing? And for Turkey to say he has a different vision for boxing and the type of fights he wants to make, I doubt very seriously that this would be the fight. I mean, it would be one thing if we already know if Wilder would have beat Parker and let's say Wallin would have beat AJ, right? Then the next fight they would have been trying to make would have been Deontay Wilder versus Ngannou. That's what they would have tried to do. Because it wouldn't have been Wallin versus Deontay Wilder. That's not the fight that they would have tried to make. I don't think that when you look at Wallin and when you look at Parker, okay, I don't know exactly how the Saudis, I think, and the Saudis know that Parker is a former champion, and they know that Wallin had a real solid showing against Fury. So when you look at that, those guys didn't expect him to win. And we know Turkey has his favorites, like when he told Anthony Joshua, I need you to get rid of this guy and knock him out. We can't have this guy come here beating our best fighters. So yeah, and AJ got the job done. So I'm pretty sure there's other fighters, he feel the same way about certain things. Just like in terms of who he wants to see win, because he has plans for a bigger fight between this guy and this guy, that type of thing. Of course, it feels like that. Now, nobody should be cheated or robbed. Absolutely not. Under no circumstance. But just looking at it, y'all, for Wilder's sake, if you really a Wilder fan, you wouldn't want this for him. I know, believe me, y'all think it's the safer of the choices. And of course, y'all don't want to admit that. But if you really a Wilder fan, fuck being a fan. If you really just care about the motherfucker, you want to see the best for him. Look. What does Wilder gain? If Wilder looks in the mirror and say, let me be honest with myself, I have no wins over any top level fighters, but I managed to hold that belt for 5 years he had it? Okay. And with what I have in my arsenal, it worked for me. Okay. I fell short twice in my career. The guy that everybody wants to see me fight is Anthony Joshua. He said that already, right? Anywhere you go, the main fight everybody want to see is him and AJ. Okay. I had my chance more than once, and I blew it. I turned money down because I didn't know how much AJ was getting. That was my fault. Okay? I went there against Parker. I lost, and AJ won. I need to redeem myself, but I'm not desperate. And if I go in there fighting against Francis Ngannou, that's exactly what this is going to look like, desperation. Because, and what did AJ knock him out with? The right hand. What do I only knock people out with? The right hand. So what becomes of this fight? I just went here after AJ laid the blueprint on this is how you throw a fucking right hand. This is how you beat this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Like all this shit that people overlook. If Wilder's honest with himself, he knows that this is not a fight that he really should be interested in. Not now, okay? Not now. So eventually when he wanted to have it, that was one thing. But now, no. No, and when he wanted to fight, there was other fighters that was available, like Andy Ruiz, just say for one. Joe Joyce, different guys, Dillian White, guys he could have fought that he didn't fight. But for you to want to get back to a certain level, then man, you got to beat fighters that's on that level. That's all. Example, for Francis Ngannou, right? He's expected to dominate the heavyweight division in the PFL. But people fail to realize that, man. See, they look at him like a big fish in a small pond. PFL is not, UFC is the biggest MMA company. Okay, well, understand something. He can go over there and get the brakes beat off of him as somebody in the heavyweight division in the PFL. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. What are they going to say? He lost it. So he knows his UFC days are over. He's never going back there. And after what happened to him against Anthony Joshua, do you think Dana White would be really so quick to want to hire him to get him back on a contract with them? I mean, what does he bring? He's not going to bring more eyes to the UFC. They're going to look at him like, oh, he don't want Anthony Joshua knocked out. And y'all MMA guys talk so much shit about how easy boxing is and all this. And then every time y'all get your ass whooped, y'all want to bring up, oh, fight me in a cage and all that. But so, I mean, yeah. Once again, y'all, it's just a lot of babble. I guess for like really super young kids, they think that this shit's cool, but grown, mature adults know this is bullshit. Now, I'm not saying that this is the fight, but a lot of people are starting to say now, different people are saying that it might just be Ngannou. And they both have something to prove it. Yeah, but no. No. Only thing you be proving if you beat Ngannou is that you were able to beat a guy that was green. AJ beat him and so did Fury. So you basically fought a guy that was 0-2. So for you, what does it do for you? For Francis Ngannou, like I said, we know he just want that one big payday and then done. That's all. That's all. So, nah, at 38 years old, this man's not going to come into boxing and start working his way up. No. But his star power is not what it was. AJ knocked his star power back down his damn throat. So, like I said, I don't know and don't care whatever he's going to do as far as boxing, man. Stay your ass back with the PFL. Stick to MMA. Whatever he chooses to do, that's on him. So, for Deontay, we don't know what's going to happen with him next. But, hey, man, I would like to see him and Andy Ruiz finally get it on. And you know what? If he went there and beat Andy Ruiz, you know what I'm not going to say? Yeah, but Andy Ruiz ain't fought in a long time. No, that's the excuses that people made for Wilder and for other fighters when they lose and they, it's their own damn fault that they're not in the ring fighting. But, no. Fight if you, and I'm saying if you're not going to fight Zhang, if you're not going to fight, him, fight another top level guy. Otherwise, you're going to fade away like the video I made before. Because Wilder's on his last leg right now. And what he doesn't need is more embarrassment, and these foolish excuses. Go in there as a man, as a warrior, win, lose, or draw, do what you have to do. And that's pretty much the way it goes. And if you're not going to do that, then stop talking shit. Stop always talking about how somebody's afraid of you and all this shit about how all you need is one. Every fighter you fight gotta be perfect for 12 rounds. I only gotta be perfect for 1 second. Right, I know. Like Parker and Fury. And if you fight AJ the same way, after AJ knock you the fuck out, I know I didn't have my killer instinct. Yeah, it'll be something right. It doesn't matter. Anthony Joshua beat Ngannou. He's like, I'm not even celebrating anything. It's like I'm on to the next one. And look at AJ since then. He fought and AJ's already back training again. I already seen the training video with AJ. AJ's not focused on this shit with Ngannou. Other people are. They're still talking about it, and wow, I'm so in awe about it. But AJ's not even thinking about that shit. Like, as far as, like, you don't, let me say it like this. You don't see him jumping in front of a camera bringing up Ngannou and talking shit. No. It's everybody else doing that shit. And as a professional, that's what you're supposed to do. Imagine, like, you see a team play basketball. 82 games. When you win, okay, cool. Great win, fellas. Cool, whatever, this, that, and all right, chill. Guess what? Tomorrow or the night after, whatever, it's on to the next one. So your celebration time is that much shorter. Okay? And you go, and you go, and you go, and you go, and either you make it to the finals and you win a championship or you don't. You have a good run, bad run, decent run, whatever. But bottom line is it's on to the next one. So all of this talking and saying I prove the people time, I prove myself time and time again, I show people what I'm capable of, right? And we've been saying, yeah, and I do this against top level guys. This is what you need to do, and this is what we want to see. Do you have it in you? Plain and simple. So, in all honesty, for Wilder's sake, for his legacy, and for his career, it would be better if he didn't worry about trying to fight no damn Francis Ngannou. It really doesn't. Once again, Ngannou's the one that only has 2 fights. So it really, and Ngannou, regardless to his mouth of him, all these excuses, and then him talking about him being the best boxer in the world because he really beat Fury in the world, knows it, and okay, whatever. Ngannou is going to be just like someone passing gas while the wind is blowing. You heard it, you smelt it, you know who dealt it, and then boom, it's gone. You forgot about it. That's exactly what Ngannou is really becoming as far as boxing. And this is what we needed. Deflate that ego, send his ass back to MMA, and let him understand. You come in here, motherfucker. This ain't the same shit. So all them knees and elbows and kicks that they claiming that you ate and nobody can hurt you, we just showed you different. Simple, yo. So this is not the fight that Wilder needs, man. Straight up, this is not the fight he needs. And all Ngannou was trying to do is get the biggest paydays of his life. And this motherfucker then came in boxing and made more money in 2 fights than he did his entire MMA career. So yeah, he be down to fight Wilder. Why not? But I don't think Turkey is that dumb. But we'll see. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.